Hello, today we're gonna do a bass lesson for the Nonexist song A Halo Askew. And there are some differences between the live version and the studio version. When we play it live with the band, we tune down to drop A. The studio version is in drop B flat, but we tune it in drop A live. And for me that's easy because my 5-string bass is tuned like this: normal G, normal D, normal A, and normal E. But the B is not normal or regular, it's detuned to A, so I have the octave lower of the normal A string. And this song is one of the easier songs, pretty straightforward, and we have an intro which is based on the chorus, and the basic root notes of the chorus is this. It's a low A, it's an F, first fret of the E string, and an open E string, back to the low A, F again, and then we go to the second fret for the F sharp, and the third fret for the G. And the actual chorus is based on these notes, plus a hammer onto the octave of the A at the end. I'm gonna play it now, and you can hear how it sounds like. And that is played 2 times. And that's the chorus. Every time the chorus returns, it's played like that. And if you want to follow along here, you can actually download the tablature. I have it on a link in the description box. Perhaps your description box is there or there, depending on how you have your YouTube set up. But it should be available there in the description. So you can just download the PDF file and follow along. And then we have the verse. Now we're kicking it up a notch here. We're including hammer-ons and pull-offs, and it sounds like this, a little bit slower. And what that is a combination of triplets, 8th notes and 16th notes. We have triplets for all those hammer-ons and pull-offs, and that's the first half of the riff. And the other half, we have the 16th notes, which is this pattern repeated, or not repeated, but it occurs 4 times in the riff, and it's the 7th, 8th, 7th, and 5th fret. Whereas the triplets are first, 4th, and 1st fret, and then it's 4, 5, 7, and 5, 7, 8. And we have open strings in between there for the triplets. And that's the first part, first time the 16th note pattern comes in. And we also have the little twist there at the end of the riff. On the first repeat, we play a sequence that sounds like this, with a little drill there. And the second time, we stop there, so we don't play the entire thing. And that leads into the pre-chorus, and here we have a nice little rhythm with open strings. We play 2 8th notes and then rest for 1 8th note, and then we repeat that pattern. We play 3 times, so it sounds like. And then we have a little in-between riff, which sounds like a little bluesy kind of thing there almost. pentatonic thing. So we put it together and it sounds like, and then we start over and we only do 2 of the rhythm instead of 3. And now we change the tonality a bit. We go away from the pentatonic and we'll go into the Phrygian major. So we have the actually same scale as in the verse riff. We have the flat second and we have the major third. So we have the A, the B flat, and the C sharp, and then D, E, F, G, and octave A. And what this riff, this part of the riff sounds like is sorry, I played it wrong there in the middle. Here's how it's supposed to be. And we stick that together with the first part with the pentatonic, and it sounds like this. And then we go back again to the pentatonic version, and we add a version of that one, which goes, and that starts from the 4th fret instead of the 1st fret. So we put that together and we get and then we start over again, play the whole riff again, with the only exception that instead of that part, we go all the way up to, not to the octave, but almost to the 7th note. So we put that together as the entire riff, and we get this. I played a little bit slower so you can follow along. And I should also mention that every time I do a position shift, I do it with a slide, so I don't hit all the notes. So, example for the pentatonic, there's no position shift, so I don't slide, everything is picked. But on the first one, I slide from 1 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 4, and 1 to 4. Also with the same thing with the second one, with a small exception that I slide here, slide here, slide here, but then I do a hammer on there at the end. And then the next part, we have the chorus coming back. And after that, it goes back to the verse and the pre-chorus and the chorus again. So nothing new there. And then we have the guitar break. It's a guitar riff played with clean sound, and it's in 7/8 or 7/4, depending on how you want to count it. Based on 7 at least. And that goes on for 8 bars. Or 16 bars, depending on if you count it in 7/8 or 7/4. And then we have the instrumental part, where all the instruments join, and it starts with a unison riff. So what happens there is I'm gonna play it slow. It's again the same tonality here as we talked about earlier, and the Phrygian major scale, and it sounds like this, a little bit slower. And that's a cool little thingy. You can check it out thoroughly in the tablature, but I think you get the gist of it there. And then comes the next section of the instrumental part, where the guitars do something a little bit different than what the bass does. And what the bass does is this: play eighth notes. Everything is eighth notes here. So it's basically an A part, B part, and the A part comes back again. The A part is in a different tonality here. We don't have the major third here, we have the minor third. So it could be Phrygian or Locrian. We don't know which, because we don't have the flattened fifth or the regular fifth in here, so we don't know if it's Phrygian or Locrian. But the second part, the B part, then we go back to the Phrygian major tonality again. And after this, here comes the most tricky thing of the song. It's always like, ooh, I'm gonna make it this time. It's a really fast thing. It's unison with the guitars. And it's played slowly like this. It's first one bar of 16th notes, chromatic. And then it's like half a bar of 16th triplets, or six tuplets, and it sounds like this, slow. And it's as you see, it's chromatic. I start on the 15th fret of the D string, and then it's chromatic, one finger per fret, and it goes back and forth. And when I go here on the 16th note of the bar, I switch strings and I go from 12 to 15 chromatic on the A string, and this is where the six tuplets start. So it's that, and then I move one string and one fret to keep the chromatic scale, and then move one string and one fret again to keep the chromatic scale, and then I end on the octave here. So I've gone from here to here. And what's weird is you fret things here with 4 fingers, so you might get a feel of it being 16th note, but it's 6 tuplets. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Or if you want to subdivide it into 16th note triplets instead, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So it gets a little weirder with the rhythms, but you'll probably figure it out with the help of the tablature and listening to the song and playing this slowly. And then at the end, the chorus comes back, and it's no different than the first time, or the second time. The third time is just the same. And at the end, we actually stick in the first 2 bars of the pre-chorus riff. So it's that pentatonic thing again. And the only thing different here is that we keep the last note ringing for 1 beat. So it sounds like this. And usually, to give that ending a little bit more punch, I play that entire thing with downstrokes. And it's at the tempo is 200 BPM, so it's doable. It's not insane. We have songs that are faster, which are sometimes played with downstrokes, but this one is manageable. So that's it for today, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments here if you're watching it on YouTube. Otherwise, go to YouTube and check it out, and drop a comment and I'll try to answer it. Bye bye, thanks for now.